Hi friends! Welcome to episode 37 of Annijuuti Knits. Hi everyone! Welcome or welcome back to my channel Annijuuti Knits. My name is Anniina and I live on the west coast of Finland with my family, and I come to you every 2 weeks to talk about my knitting. And yeah, welcome or welcome back. Like the video suggested, like the title suggested, I have a ton of knitting to talk about today. And I do apologize if the lighting is bad, because you know it's November. The sun rose about 30 minutes ago, and it's very cloudy and gloomy, and I tried to put everything, all the artificial lights off so that the lighting would be okay. I hope my glasses won't reflect too much, because I was just too lazy to put on contacts, so bear with. And also I have new glasses, so I kind of wanted you to show I kind of wanted you to see it. So what do you think? You can find me on Instagram as Annijuuti Knits and on Ravelry as Annijuuti. And yeah, I will try and link everything that I talk about today down in the description if I remember. Sometimes there might be some things missing, but I always try to link my project page and my Ravelry project pages, so that you can have a look if there is something that you would like to see. I must say that I'm not the I'm not the best at filling out my project pages, but I try to put the needles and all that jazz if I remember. But yeah, we have a ton to go through today. I have been home a little bit more than usual because my son was sick again. Nothing major this time. It was just a very, very runny nose, and when they are in that kind of condition, you can't bring them to or take them to daycare. So I was home with him this week, Monday and Tuesday. Today is Wednesday and it's my day off, or my knitting work day. If you haven't been here before, I am also a designer, and I have 1 day a week to do my design work, but somehow lately it has felt like my Wednesdays are filled with cooking and cleaning and grocery shopping and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think like this end of the year, I'm kind of losing steam. I changed jobs 1.5 months ago, and I was also releasing 5 new patterns at a time. So I think I overworked myself a bit, and now I've been like missing motivation to tackle my designs. So I thought that I'd give myself a little bit of a rest for the rest of the year, and I have a few things on the go, but I won't set any deadlines to myself, and I'm just going to enjoy gift knitting and knitting other people's patterns and so forth. Should we go into the business? First, what am I wearing? I am wearing a whip that you saw last time, and this is my this is my Hilja tee that got a little bit of a transformation, because it was originally a t-shirt and I did knit up some sleeves for it. I'll put a little video here because I'm definitely wearing my joggers today, so I'm not going to stand up. You'll see on the video how it looks on. and I have to say that I love it. I just absolutely love it. Last time I spoke to you about this, I was, I think, just around the elbow of one sleeve, and now we have 2 sleeves. And yeah, I did decrease along the sleeve, but still I got a little puff, so I did decrease like 8 stitches at the end, like before the ribbing, and I've been living in it. The yarn is Slavica Yarns Borana. It is a merino and cashmere and silk blend, which is very luxurious, and may I say it's very warm. Even though it's a fingering weight sweater, I've been wearing it since I finished it a few days ago, and yeah, it's surprisingly warm. I do have fingering weight sweaters and I wear them all the time. It must be the cashmere content because it's like super warm. It's like really warm. I wore it to the knitting class that I teach yesterday, and people were like, I think they have dropped temperatures in the craft room there because it's cold. It's like really, it's cold. And people were like, after an hour, they were like just like putting shawls and their jackets on their shoulders because it was really cold. But I was in this and I was like, I'm warm and cozy, so it's warm. Yeah, I have nothing much to say. I did show, did I show? No. If I haven't shown the process behind this, I will put a video here. I made a reel, but I'll just put the bare video how I tackled this project. So I did have these short sleeves, or I barely had any sleeves. It was just a ribbing after the split, and I took a smaller needle to pick up the stitches, and I then unraveled the ribbing and knit again the sleeves. I didn't re-block it fully. I was just like spraying water on the sleeves, and there you can see a little mark, maybe. Can you? Here. I think there's a little mark where the pickup happened, but I think it smoothed out quite well, and who cares? I am just going to love wearing it, and it's the perfect piece to have now that it's kind of cold, and I usually wear a woolly sweater inside as well. So that's my first finished object, and I only have another finished object, and technically it's not even finished because there is a ribbon that is missing. But you probably follow Laura from the Penrose Knits channel, the Knitting Pickle podcast. Laura is amazing, and she's always inspiring me and probably 1,000 other people, or a couple of thousand, with her projects. And she mentioned this little star on her one of her episodes, and I was missing something to do. I really had an urge to cast something on. I was so bored with my projects, and I wanted something very like instant gratification. So I dug out some white sock wool. This is Seitsemän veljestä, the very famous Finnish worsted weight sock yarn, and I did make the star bee. So this pattern is called Stjärna by Linda. Was it Linda? What was her name? No, it wasn't Linda. Carolina I don't know how to say that. Eckerdal. Carolina Eckerdal. I don't know. mock me, but you know, my Swedish is not so good. Yes, so I did make one of these, and it took me 12 or 13 grams of this wool. I had I think like 27 grams, so I should have enough for a second one. So I'm planning on putting these on our tree. We have an all white decorations tree because my husband is when we first moved in together, he was like, I want a Christmas tree to have just one color. And this sounds weird. He's not very strict in a lot of things, but this was like, just pick a color and then we have all the decoration in same color. And because most of my decorations were white, we chose white, and we've had a white Christmas tree ever since. I am bending the rules a little bit because I have silver items there as well, and he has to live with that because I have these beautiful silvery ornaments that my father has given me, and they are going to the tree. So that's that. End of discussion. Anyway, so I have a lot of self-made decorations in my tree. Something that I have done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and so forth. So I wanted to add something self-made into our tree, and I should have enough to make another one of these with the same yarn left over, and then I will put the ribbons in both of my stars. But yeah, it was a very, I would say quick. It was very fiddly. You cast on, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, I will link it down below. You cast on the edge stitches and then you do decreases and then you do the other side. I found that picking up the stitches, there is an alternative to do like a, is it like a, I think it's like the Judy's Magic cast on thing, I believe, because, but I don't know, no, I didn't, I just went with the long tail cast on and then picked up the stitches for the second side. I found that using a crochet hook to pick up the stitches made it much easier. I tried first to pick it up like regular way. It was so tight, the edge, and because it's, you know, this shape is kind of funny. I think I did like 5, there's like 5 sections, but I think I had my cable, I made it with a circular needle, like a 100 centimeters, 32 inch circular needle, and I did it with in like 3 sections because I found that the cord wouldn't be long enough to bend in 5 loops. So I had it in 3 sections, and it's very easy. You don't need to refer to the pattern after you start, but it's fiddly. But I think, I'm hoping the second one will be easier. I think I stuffed it a bit too much, and the stuffing is not all the way on the points, but it's super cute anyway. Yeah, so that's my second and last finished object that I have. And then I have done a bunch of other stuff. So last week, Woolmy Ones Fibers, which is a Finnish yarn dyer, she actually lives in the same city that I, and she is hosting quite often these knitting marathons. It's an online event, if we can call it that. It's a marathon that runs for a week, and you weigh the yarn that you use. So you weigh the projects, you have to decide the projects, and then you weigh the yarn and you announce how much you can knit in a week. And I chose to do 3 projects, and this Hilja tee was one of them, or should we call it now sweater. And yeah, I did manage to knit 524 meters in a week. and that is quite a lot, but my son was already sick last weekend and I had to be with him at home. We couldn't really go anywhere, so there's that. So this was my main project, and the second project that I was working on this marathon was the Cargill Junior by Rebecca Clow. And as you can see, it's not ready yet. It's missing a sleeve. I talked about this last time, and even though this project is so lovely and I was kind of hoping that this would be already finished, I had to block the body already, or most of the body, because the yarn is giving me a rash and it's itching my nose, and I get very itchy while I'm working on it, and it's annoying and it's so sad because I really wanted to love this project and I do love the pattern. It's very intuitive, and you know, after the hard part, after the short row shaping on the neck, it's just smooth sailing and it's very easy. But the yarn I do not cope well with. I have struggled through this project, and because this is a test knit, I am test knitting this. This is the size 2 or size 2 years. It's the third size of the pattern, but it's the size 2 years. I am determined to finish this, and I'm determined to finish it soon, because today is Wednesday. I'm seeing my friend on Monday next week, and I really want to give this to her, to give her to her daughter. So yeah, last time you saw, I had just made most of the body. I was here and I didn't have a sleeve. So last week I made one sleeve and this hem. I think there was like four repeats and the ribbing. That's much. That's how much I was able to do last week. I'm struggling with one wording today. Whew. So yeah, lovely pattern, really well written. It will come out mid-December, I believe, and I really suggest you to have a look at Rebecca's Ravelry page, her designer page. She has the Cargill, sweater for the adults, and this is the junior version. I'm pretty sure you all know her. She is a knitting superstar, and she just started designing and she's smashing it. So well done, Rebecca. She can be found here on YouTube as the Kreia Bea, and also on Instagram as Kreia Bea. But yeah, I assume this will be finished the next time we talk. I will wash it in the washing machine before I gift it, because this yarn, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's the Drops Soft Tweed. I have heard a lot of people using it, but for me, it's just painful to knit with. And not painful, but you know, figuratively speaking, painful to work with, because it does give me a rash. This dip stitch pattern is so divine, and I think this yarn gives a very good stitch definition. It's very soft to the touch. Unfortunately, it does give me rash. This part that I washed, I can easily pet and doesn't irritate me whatsoever. But it's very dusty yarn, if you can, like, you know, there's like fluff flying out of it, even though it's very solid. So yeah, unfortunately it doesn't work for me, and I will still finish this project. It's almost done. The sleeve was quite quick actually to work with, and I think it won't take me too long to finish. I will mix things up a little bit by now showing the third project that I was working on the marathon. And you have not seen this before. It was a new and very impromptu sudden cast on. I've thought about this for a while, but then it was like just cast it on now. And it is a Vertices Unite shawl. It's the small size. And as you can see, so not my colors, but these are definitely my niece's colors, and she is a one that I have made a lot of projects to because she always wears them. She is very knit-worthy auntie's little sweetheart, and she is now turning 8, and yeah, she loves everything pink, she loves unicorn, she loves everything, and this is like the unicorn vomit because it's just so many colors. There's something that annoys me a little bit. It's here. I have done one of the turns the wrong way. I have done I've attached this new color on the wrong side, so there is one stitch that you can see it's the wrong way. But once I realized I had made that mistake, I was already somewhere over here, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna see it, so I'm not gonna be bothered about it. But yeah, so this is what I made last week. So I have few new sections to add on, and then it will be finished. She is turning 8 on the 21st of December, and I think I will be able to finish this before that. I'm using all these 4 colors that I have here, and then I have the 5th color here. This was part of Cargill Knits October box, and this was one of the minis that came, and I think it just works very well with all these colors that I have. So yeah, I think it's very cute. It's fun to work with colors that you would normally never work with, but that's because you know, it's the joy of gifting things, and I know that these colors these colors are something that she really enjoys using, so that's perfect. I did have a parcel sent to me from Loyal Yarns, and that's a mill in China, and they contacted me and asked if they could send me some samples of their yarn. So they sent me 400-gram skeins, and one of the skeins I got to pick which basis I wanted to try, and this was a merino yarn with I think it was a polyester neb. And because this this base was so fun with all the yellows and greens and purples, I thought it goes really well with this without dyeing it. So I do have some plans to dye the rest of the skeins, but this I wanted to use straight up. So yeah, thank you Loyal Yarns. There was no requirements for me to talk about them, but I really thought it was really nice that they thought of me and wanted to send me some yarn. All right, moving on. I have half finished object, and this you have seen I think a few times already. So this is the sock that I've been knitting on my class, or not on the class, but I have been making this sock at home, and I've been demonstrating different techniques what you use for toe-up knitting. So we did the Judy's Magic cast on, then increased for the toe, increased for the gusset. That's a hard word. And then we did the Flegel heel. And this was the side where I have changed the yarn. So here is the beginning of round. And this is the Joggles stripe method that I use. I have a reel on my Instagram. I can link it down in the description if I remember. But yeah, it's the technique that I use to change rows so that it creates this very unnoticeable change in the round. And yeah, yesterday we learned the tubular bind off. It's kind of floppy. I have not blocked this sock. I just put it on the blocker. But yeah, I have the second sock here. Just started. I just have a toe and few stripes, and I should make this to match with the other one. So yeah, there's no pattern, no specific pattern. I have just written some notes and taught those techniques to my students. I do have a lot of sock whips. I have 2 more pairs of socks, but I think before we go into those, I will show my brother's sweater. I usually don't have anything to drink with me while I film, but I don't know why, but I don't know. I am quite fast person in a lot of ways, and I try to calm myself down, because I know for one that I love to watch those podcasts where you can it's like talking to a friend, and there's no rush in knitting. Like, it doesn't matter if it takes me a few minutes longer, because then if the atmosphere is calmer, I know that I am not a very calm person, but I've been trying to calm myself down a little bit while filming, because I think it's probably more enjoyable to watch. One thing I wanted to mention these few days, now that you can see, I have been working I've been knitting a lot, and that's because I was home with my child. And I just wanted to ask you, am I the only one who rewards themselves with knitting? Like, with housework, it feels like either I do the bare minimum, like that's normally what I do, and if I'm home with a sick kid, I have to be with him and so on. But it's like I am making these little goals, and I am rewarding myself with knitting. It's like after you put the load of laundry on, and after you empty the dishwasher or vacuum the kitchen, whatever, then you get to knit, and then you can grab the project. And it's like the whole weekend my husband was away, and then my kid was sick Monday, Tuesday, so I've been home for 4 days with him, and it's been like that I'll put on dinner and then I get to knit, or I will clear out the toys and then I get to knit. So are you like that, or is it just me that rewards themselves? It's like I'm not a very homey person. I'm not a very good, I'm not a stay-at-home mom by no means. Like, I was able to be home, which was lovely, for both of my boys for a year, and at the end of the year, even though I love my kids, it's just like the household stuff is not my passion. Like, I don't get any like pride about clearing out the stuff and having a very sparkly home, because I don't have a sparkly home. I do try to maintain the, you know, the level of cleanliness, but I'm not bothered by some toys or some books laying around. I just, you know, okay, I got a little bit sidetracked, but you know, I was just curious if you are also the same and reward yourself with knitting. All right, that was a little sidetrack. Now I will show you my brother's sweater, even though it has not grown a lot. I talked about this last time. Okay, there's a lot of yarn tangles. The problem is that I'm working on the body and the sleeve at the same time, and there are 4 ends and they are all small balls. So here it is. So this is my Marled raglan, and it very loosely follows the No Frills, No Frills by Petite. I do have the pattern, but I ended up modifying it so heavily that I don't know if you can even say that it is the same sweater. I can link an episode that I talk more about this project. Last time I had made the sleeve somewhere over here, but I discovered that my sleeve was too big, and now I have reknit the sleeve. I did unravel it until this yellow stripe, and then I started decreasing like straight away, and it's so much better now. I haven't put it on my husband to try it on, but yeah, I have just done like a little bit of the body, just very minimally, but I did reknit the whole sleeve, or whole sleeve, like the whole little bit of the sleeve. I feel like now the Cargill yarn is going up to my nose because it's like, it feels very itchy. Yeah, so not a lot of progress that you can see, but I have reworked the sleeve bit. I will put a video here. Someone asked if I could show how I weave in my ends, because I do while I'm at it. So there's a lot of these small ends. I have weaved them in as I go. I am always just changing one strand at a time. So there are a ton of ends, but there's nothing to weave in after I finish, because I have already taken care of those while I'm at it. And I think I will block it, and I will snip or trim all the little bits of yarn after I have blocked it. But yeah, as you can see, I'm using 2 different methods. I'm doing the weaving Steven. I will go under and over like a few times, and then I will make sure the end is nice and tight, and I will like do the weaving Steven technique. But yeah, that was probably the 10th time that I say, but yeah, bear with. I have 3. I have 3 other 4. I have 4 other whips that I will like to share before I will call it a day. And which one do I start with first? Let's start with this. These are all, actually I have 5. Sorry. I said there's a ton of whips. After the marathon week was over and I was home with my son last 2 days, I've been casting on left and right. It's a lot of commitment to me. I am not a monogamous knitter. It's so much dedication if I will work on only 3 projects for a whole week. I did manage to get a lot of done, but these last 2 days I've been casting on like crazy. And yeah, these I actually didn't cast on now. I have cast this on, I think I have probably even shown it to you maybe. I had like 2 centimeters of the ribbing done. So these are a gift knit for my father-in-law. I'm using this supermarket yarn. This is the same yarn as the Novita 7 veljestä. But the difference is that this is the supermarket brand. So the yarn is made in the Novita factory, but they will put different labels and it's cheaper. And these are 150 gram skeins. I do not have the label anymore, but I believe it was Kotikulta yarn, if I'm not mistaken. But the one that Novita does. Anyway, this is the sagey green. I think it might look a bit gray, but it's like sage green. So I had the ribbing, and I've been wanting to do some like texture, and then I remembered that Nicole from the Professor Pearl podcast, Nicole Entzinger, I hope I said it right. She has designed the Celaena socks, and I had already started, and I was craving for something textured, because this yarn it's a slight variegate, like heathered maybe. It's tiny bit heathered colorway, and I wanted something simple, but something that would be a bit interesting. And the Celaena socks were exactly that. It's a DK pattern. You can make it with either strand of fingering and mohair and or a DK. This is technically a worsted weight. It's 200 meters per 100 grams, but it knits up like DK does. And I had cast on 56 stitches because I am a very tight knitter, and I do like to make my socks on a tight gauge, so I don't want to go up in needle size. So I did go up in stitch count, and even though the biggest size on that pattern is 52 stitches, it's just 4 stitches different, and I think I can make that work. So Celaena socks by Professor Pearl, and it's going to be a present for my father-in-law. And yeah, it's a fun looking pattern. There's quite a lot of purling, but I don't mind that, and I'm making 2 at a time because that's my preferred method to have finished pair of socks. If possible, and if I'm using just one color, I usually make 2 at a time. And then I think I have mentioned these also. My husband never asks for anything, like any knitting, but he did have a request probably already like a month or 2 ago, and he was asking if I could make him Twin Peaks socks. And of course, if he asks, I will make him anything he wants, especially if it's just a pair of socks, because you know that's what I love to make. And yeah, so I did order this velvet curtain red from Ruskanlehti, and this is where I'm at. The problem is that I can't knit these at home because I don't want him to see them. Even though he has requested them, he doesn't know that I bought the yarn, and he doesn't know that I have started these socks. So I would like to keep it that way. But yeah, I am using 2.25 millimeter needles. I have 72 stitches as I always have for him. And this is the reference picture that he showed me. And so I'm planning on making the cuffs and the heels with the red. And after the gusset decreases, I will introduce black and white. I don't have the yarns now here, but yeah, I will just do the chevron patterning then to the foot. And I don't know, I hope that fulfills his wish. And yeah, they are fun, but they have been in my handbag and I've been only knitting them at work lunchtime, so it's quite slow going. I will tell a little personal story here because I have this bag. I usually don't show show my project bags that often, so I have made this one. I have a little label that says Annijuuti Knits, and this is a very special bag because when my husband and I, we have known each other for, I don't know, 15 years, more than that, 20 years, I think. We played in the same orchestra when we were teenagers. And so we've known each other, and we had a little thing when I was 16 and he was 18. We were on a band trip to Sweden, and, you know, something little like, you know, hand holding, and, you know, our first kiss was then 18 years ago. So anyway, that was just that trip to Sweden, and, you know, nothing happened. He contacted me after like months and months, and I already had a boyfriend and all that jazz, so that never got anywhere. And when I came home from Australia, I have been in Australia for a year when I was 26, and I came home and I started working at the gym, and he was a customer over there, and he started hanging out on the cashier every time that I was working. And he asked me if I could, he knew that I am a seamstress, and he asked if I could fix a shirt of his because he ripped his sleeve and he would like to fix that shirt. So I said, of course, and you can come by after work and I'll fix that, and so forth. And this bag is made out of that shirt that I fixed all those years ago. I did save the pocket, and this is the button band. So yeah, 7 years has passed and the sweater the shirt didn't fit him anymore, and it was all fragile, and I just didn't have the heart to throw away that shirt because that was the day that our relationship started. He came over, and that's all where it all happened. But yeah, so very sweet, very fond memories of our relationship starting with this shirt. And I made it into a bag, and if I'm making something for him especially, I quite often gravitate towards this bag because it's just a nice little reminder of our the beginning of our relationship. But yeah, those were his Black Lodge socks. I have a few other things. Where's that one? I had one. Where is it? I'm sure I put it here. Oh, it's here. I'm sitting on it. Yeah, so First of all, there's nothing much to show. This is a dishcloth. I started it yesterday. I didn't finish yet. It's just a corner to corner dishcloth, no pattern. I have made a ton of these. I'm using 4mm needles, and this is a cotton bamboo yarn. It's a very deep stash, and it is black. It is 108 meters per 50 grams. I am using 4mm needles, and these make the best dishcloths ever. I was in a need for a little present, and this is going to be a present. It's very dull because it's black, but I think black goes for everyone, so it's a dishcloth, like who cares? I really like the ones that has some bamboo in it, because I find, first of all, like we have used these dishcloths for, I don't know, 3 years now, and I think it's more eco-friendly to use these washable rags that you can wipe the tables. And I find that the ones with bamboo, they dry much quicker than the cotton ones, and they don't shrink as much in the dryer as the cotton ones do. I do find that it's very necessary to put them in the dryer because it fluffs it up, and it's not so dense after they go through the drying process. So when I wash them, I always chuck them in the dryer as well, and then they will they are going to be flexible. What's the word? They are softer, and they will actually absorb much better. So yeah, this is just a small little thing. It's black, so it's kind of hard to see when it's dark, so that's why I didn't finish it yet. I think I will finish this today and gift it. I do have some of those yarns still in my stash, so I was thinking I might do these, like I usually wipe my makeup with this micellar water, so the ones that I use are the these cotton pads. What are they called? So I would like to have a more eco-friendly option, and I think I will knit myself a few of those little squares out of that yarn, because I will definitely have some leftovers. I'm not a crocheter, so I've seen a lot of people, they crochet these little circles and use that for cleaning their makeup, but I don't crochet, and I'm not planning on starting, so I don't like, it doesn't tickle my pickle. So yeah, that's what that is. Next I will show you my mom's Christmas present. So mom, if you are watching, please jump on. I will put here the timestamp that you can, or not the timestamp, but like just speed up, move forward, because I will show the rest of us this present. Okay, I think she went. I hope she went. If you didn't, go. My mom knows that I am planning on making her the Vohveli cowl. I'll put the picture here of my original one. And this is a very fun knit, at least for me. I'm planning on making a few of these for Christmas presents, and this is now the one that my mom is going to get. So you start from the corner, and then you increase up, and with this fun broken rib pattern, and then you join in the round and move forward. So if you are looking for an easy gift knit, may I suggest Vohveli cowl, because you know, it's a quick knit. I'm using 5mm needles. to create these, and it's such a fun and quick thing to make. And I am using this Merino DK yarn. Oh dear, there's everything is coming out. So it's Karma yarns. I have shown this in a skein for you. So it's a 100% non-superwash organic merino, and it's very soft. It's very nice. I've made my Vohveli hats out of this yarn, and I did purchase a couple more colors or colorways. And yeah, this one I'm making for my mom. She knows that she is going to get one of these because she asked for one, and I said that I will make one for her for Christmas, but I haven't shown her which color I'm making it in, so that's why. So I am planning on making those Vohveli cowls 2 more for Christmas if I have time. And I did take some yarn here that I'm planning on using. So this is yarn from my aunt's farm, and we dyed these together with her. I don't remember if these were the jar type of dye things. I think they may have been. And now I'm not sure. These were probably in the same jar, but I think this is a gray base and this is a white base. So that's why the other one is a bit darker. And this is a single ply Finship wool, and I was planning on holding these together because they're both 50 grams. And it fluffs up really nicely when you wash it. So I'm just gonna hold these 2 strands together and make one of those cowls with this. And now we only have one project and few acquisitions, which I actually didn't bring, so I will go and get them. So I did mention last time that I did get myself an advent calendar, and it's here. Very nice, in a very cute assembled decorative box. Not really. I'm not one of those very artistic, no, well, I can't say that because I am, in a way, I'm artistic, but like, I don't have all these beautiful items. And before the kids, I never was a Christmas person. I was never a person to collect decorative items, but I think I've softened up with the kids a little bit. So this has all to do with my advent calendar, and I did a little test run. So my plan is to make the safe space blanket by the Skeinanigans, or what's her name? Ellie Alexander Loomis, I think. She has made this fun hexagon blanket. Also the northeasterly blanket is by her. And I did a little test run. So I did the first hexagon last night because I did want to familiarize myself with the pattern before the first advent starts. And let's be honest, like if I'm making a square day, that's not a blanket quite yet. So I also wanted to see how much yarn I will use. I have 20 gram minis, and there will be 4 whole skeins in this calendar. So there is going to be, for each of the advents, or the 3 upcoming advents and the Christmas Eve package will be the full skein. So I wanted to see how much yarn I will use for one of these, and I think 6 grams, give or take, was what I used. So I know that I can make 2 or 3 squares of each of the minis. I think I will aim for 2 squares, and I'm planning on making myself an advent stripy socks. So I will start tomorrow, and then I will I will make a stripe a day type of thing. I will use one of the minis for the heels and one for the cuffs and one for the toes. So because my shoe size is 37, and that way I can have 24 different colors in my sock. That to aside, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, my goal is to make a square, not a square, a hexagon a day. And this is not a hexa actually, is it? This is a 6. What is it called? I don't know. Anyway, I will make one of these a day, one honeycomb a day, and that will get me started on this blanket, and then I will add some leftovers. This was a leftover from my Stephen West Twists and Turns, and I think it's nice to add some memories into the blanket as well. So yeah, I just wanted to try out this pattern before the December kicks in, which is tomorrow. And yeah, my 2 Advent projects are going to be this blanket, and then I will make myself a pair of socks. But I think I have to go and buy some needles because all my sock needles are in use, and I feel like I need to keep them on the needles to make sure I will finish them on time. So I will go and grab another pair of some sock needles today, and then I will be able to continue my Christmas adventures with my Advent yarn. I find it very fun idea to be able to use those yarns straight away so that they won't be lingering for too long. I think I have only 2 unopened skeins from my last year's calendar. I did give I think few of them away because there was kind of these unicorny colors that weren't my thing, so I gifted them to my friend, and then I have used up most of them, and 2 I have still unopened, but I am going to make some gnomes hopefully this Christmas as well, and I will use them for those. And this was all the projects that I have going on. And I have one more thing to show you, and it's my lovely acquisitions. There was this Finnish craft fair. It was the biggest, or it is the biggest craft fair in Finland. It's not just... Where's one of these? I already missed one. Oh dear me. So the craft fair was taking place last weekend, and it was in Tampere, which is like 3 hours by train from here, and I didn't go because it didn't work with my schedule, and also it's quite expensive to go, and then you make purchases and you have to eat out and all that jazz. It's a lot of money, but I was having like the huge FOMO. I was like, all the weekend I was seeing everything, all the lovely things that people were posting their purchases, and I was jealous, to be honest. And yeah, I did have a craft fair purchase because I wanted to. There was a discount from this dyer that wasn't in the fair, and she wanted to give something. I think she was also having a FOMO, so she had a little discount, 15% off from all of her yarn, which was amazing. And I really love her style, her aesthetic, so I did grab some sock yarn skeins. So these are from Ruskanlehti. She's a wonderful dyer. Whoop. And I did grab a few of her sock bases. This is her merino sock in a colorway Ruskanlehti, which is her signature color. And Man, it's amazing. My 3-year-old was unpacking with me these yarns, and he grabbed this and he was like, what are you making for me with this? So it might have to be something for him. It's gorgeous. So very soft merino sock. This one is a BFL sock in colorway Ruosteinen naula, which is a rusty nail, and man, this is amazing. I will definitely make a pair of socks for myself with this one. And then this is another merino sock base. So lovely, moody brown with these different tones. It's amazing. And then one of the bases were merino DK. I thought I'd make myself a pair of house socks with this olive green. Yeah, and the colorway is called Olivi, which is olive in Finnish. And yeah, amazing. I was so happy these arrived like 2 days after I purchased them, and they made my day. They were so beautiful. And this was my craft fair purchase, even though I wasn't even in the fair. But you know, sometimes you have to spoil yourself a little bit to make you feel good. And yarn buying is the best way to make one feel good. So I think there's no harm in that. But yeah, I think the life stuff already came here in the middle of the video. So I think that is everything that I had to say today. Thank you for listening to my rambles, and tell me, are you already looking forward to all the vlogmases and Christmas stuff, or are you not a very vloggy person? I think I'm looking forward seeing few of the vlogs, especially Laura from the Penrose Knits. She is just so, like, her aesthetic is just amazing, and I really enjoy watching her vlogmas. I've always been a Christmas person. I've loved making gifts and giving gifts, but I've never had any Christmas decorations before the kids. But now I'm kind of looking forward putting up the tree and, you know, starting the cozy season. I think we are going to bake some gingerbread cookies this weekend, and also these other Finnish Christmas pastries, and then, you know, just making some gifts with the kids and starting to feel the Christmas. I loved that when I was a kid, and I want to give these memories to my own kids as well. So yeah, it turns out I might be a Christmassy person after all. And with that, I will leave you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and happy knitting. Bye!